Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. I know if you're into hiking, camping, and backpacking, you do typically like to be comfortable when you sleep, and having something like a portable air mattress is absolutely awesome. But after an entire day of trudging up the trails, or maybe having a slightly larger and unwieldy mattress, you might not want to waste the breath to blow it up. But today we have something that may be able to help you with that. And so here is the Tiny Pump 2X from the people at Flextail. This is a very small, lightweight, battery operated pump that can help you with some of your inflation needs. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna take a look at this in the studio. Gonna give you a practical overview so you can generally see the overall construction, the features, and the overall capability. I'm gonna do a couple of tests on this to see how it performs and to see whether or not you think this is a viable option for you. Now, I will probably bring this out into the field to do some practical field testing. I'm not certain if that's going to have its own standalone video, so I may basically just only cover this in the studio here, but I will have a pretty good understanding of how this will perform and what it might do if we do bring it out into the field. And so with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Now, before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Flextail who did provide this for review. And so as we get into this, there are a number of companies that make small portable pumps, but if you do a little bit of research, you'll realize pretty quick that a lot of people really enjoy the brand Flextail. They are doing a fantastic job with their small portable pumps, and here the Tiny Pump 2X. So we're going to take a look at this. I'll bust it out of the box, but another thing that we're going to take a look at, well, they also have air mattresses and pillows, and here they have their Cloud Comfort pillow. So we're also going to take a look at this, and we'll actually be able to leverage the pump to blow this up. And then here, this is what they call the mushroom. So I think you're going to see we can actually convert our little pump here into a little bit of a lantern. So leveraging this mushroom kind of gives us a multi-purpose and multi-use tool, which is very cool. So with that, let's bust this out of the package. And so if you are into hiking, camping, and backpacking, you know, size matters, space utilization matters, ounces matter. And so, you know, you're gonna have to make some trade-offs in what you carry, but there is something to be said for general comforts from time to time. And I know for me personally, sometimes I'd rather carry just a little bit extra, one or two extra little things to help me out while I'm out on the trails, to make sure that I'm just capable of taking care of myself and having just a little bit of comfort while I'm out there. So for me, it's not always exactly about the ounces. It's really about having the right kit. And in certain times, you may find that it just makes sense to have something like this Flextail small little pump. So here, again, this is a multi-use and multi-purpose item. This is not just a pump. It's also a light, or in other words, a lantern. So having something that is this small does offer a couple of different things for you. So of course, first things first, this is battery operated. You can see here, right there, that is a USB Type-C charging port. So very simple. On top here, the lantern. You do end up with your fill valve, and here you can see just the inlet and outlet for the device. Now this also does come with some nozzles, so a couple different shapes for different tasks. And so in order for us to leverage these, we'd kind of need to have, you know, a specific shape of a fill nozzle for our, you know, particular device or whatever it is that we're going to be filling. But again, nice and flexible in a fairly compact kit. Power button here on the side, single press. There you go. Again. It actually does require a double press. So the first press, nothing. Second press, Nothing. So if you don't press quick enough, it won't accidentally turn on. And that's kind of nice. So there you go. A long press here. That's going to get your lantern. Long press. Let's see. So it looks like you have a single output, which is fine. Oh, there you go. So at this point, the long press turns it on, and then a single press between them. So long press turns it on. That's low, medium, and high. That's cool. And that's a nice output. General quality beam. Not a ton of light, but I can tell you, this on the high mode is more than enough to get around and see. And especially if you were trying to search around outside your tent, search around outside your hammock, and find things. The single long press here on the low mode, that's going to be more than enough to get in and out of your tent or in and out of your shelter, and the ability to kind of poke around a little bit inside and see. So generally, right away, that's really cool. Now, that's where this mushroom does come into play. You can see on the inside, it's got that sort of little flat part, which does index in here. So you can see as we get this, kind of pop it into place. Pretty straightforward, not too difficult. And then that mushroom, just a nice little soft glow. So giving it that kind of amber glow, diffusing the light, nice and soft. So that's a nice little touch. It's cool to have just a simple little thing like this. And this is literally, and you can see that's nicely on there. Very flexible, doesn't weigh anything. And, you know, not that I'd necessarily want to do this, but if you were in dire straits, you could actually use this as a little container. So if you're one of those, like, you know, multi-use survival types, having a nice little container like this might come into play. Not that I expect to need my pump in a survival situation, but you never know what you're going to get yourself into. And so at this point, let's do a full rundown. This here is your deflation port, your inflation port. Of course, that is the LED illumination. You end up with your USB charging port and then the power button on the side. You also have the ability to hang this, so very nice. We already talked about the mushroom diffuser. Now, they do suggest this could be used for inflatable toys or swimming rings. This would be for air cushions or inflatable boats, air beds, which they do have multiple sizes of nozzle. Again, the USB Type-C charging cable and all of it can fit in this nice little package. So you do have the ability to bag all of this up, which I will for the time being. So at this point, we're going to bust out the pillow because to me, let's start inflating things. That's kind of why we're here. And that is sort of the purpose. So again, here, the Cloud Comfort pillow, a fairly small package. Now, I'm curious about how large this is. I have a number of different camp pillows. I use camp pillows all the time, and especially in my hammock, I'll actually bring 2 or 3 because I do like to put pillows beneath my knees. So again, here you can see they call this the Zero pillow. So a nice package. Actually looks like it's going to be very comfortable. That's pretty sweet. Comes in this nice little simple case, very simple. And very soft to the touch, I can tell you already as I go to remove this from the little carrying case. Very soft to the touch. Apparently has a strap, so that's kind of cool. That goes around your air mattress, so to hold it in place. And again here, very nice. That's a comfortable, soft, and large pillow. This is big. This is awesome. So this will be my new go-to, I can tell you that already. Typical fill port here. So you can see a lot of times these will have a fill port. This is a one-way valve. So you'll notice this is your deflation port. And then to fill it, you keep that shut. It does have the bag on the inside. So as you listen here, bit of an inflatable bag on the inside. Now right away, we're starting to get an idea about what size nozzle we'll need, which in this case, you can see this is the largest fill nozzle, but you might be able to get away with the slightly smaller one, but for this case, we're going to use the larger. Fitting this on the outside of the pump here, that's pressing in nicely, a good firm fit, feeling like it's not going to fall off at all. And now filling up the pillow, so very quick. And very fast. I mean, very, very fast and pretty much immediate. Oops. And you can see there I was not careful and I accidentally pulled out the deflate port. But have no fear. And in fact, that worked out just fine because you get to see that a second time. So here you can see just a large pillow. This has a contour to it, which is cool. So you can see nicely contoured. So this would go kind of under your head. This would go towards the back of your head. Very nice, very soft, just gorgeous. And again, strap to keep this on your mattress pad. And, you know, a couple of different ways. If you needed to, you can remove this inner bag to wash the case. So very, very nice. Now, if you had to deflate just a little bit, you can see here, we're going to take off the fill port. So again, this is a one-way valve, and it's got a little button on the inside. You can depress that if you want to let just a little bit of air out to your comfort. And at this point, very simple. Now, I don't think I'm going to necessarily need to use the pump itself to deflate this, just because it's such a simple and small amount of air. So there you can see deflating this very easily. And at this point, this can go right back in its case, which for me, oftentimes I will stuff in like this. So you saw how fast it was to fill with the pump. Let me do this just with my breath for a quick minute. So here. Not too bad, really only took 3 large breaths, but that's just a pillow. What about an air mattress? Let's get to it. Which you probably realize I haven't even as much as charged this up yet. So if this doesn't go in a single charge, I'll have to kind of pause in the middle. So this is an interesting test right now to see how this performs. Now this air mattress here is going to be very oversized compared to, you know, what you would necessarily bring backpacking. But what if you're car camping and you want the ability to leverage a larger air mattress? Well, this will be a pretty good test for the Flextail, and I think this will be an awesome opportunity to give it a shot. So as we get this prepared here, there are a couple of different fill ports. I am going to leverage this fill port on the back, which should need the largest nozzle, which yes, it does. And as we get this started here, well, let's give this thing a go. Now we're gonna leave this video running the entire time so I can get a timestamp on this to see how long it takes to pump up. I'm just kind of curious. And as you can see, it's actually getting to work pretty quick, filling many of the baffles and working its way down towards the end. So far, it's actually going very nicely, fairly fast. It's not terribly loud. It has a little bit of a whine to it, but not too loud. In fact, I'm going to say it shouldn't bother too many people. If you were trying to stealth camp, that might be an issue, but that comes with the territory. And in a very short amount of time, very short amount of time, about a minute, but I'll get the actual timestamp here, you can see increasing in pitch, and it's starting to whine a little bit, and with that we are completely full. So that was pretty impressive. Now in full disclosure, I did realize that I was filling it with the sort of deflation port. I did since open this. I'm going to pump this back up, but I need to change my nozzle size to accommodate the fill port, which means the larger nozzle needs to accommodate the deflate port. So in other words, if I'm bringing the pump with me, I do need both nozzles, both the larger and the smaller nozzle with me to perform this job. And so now just re-inflating this again to full capacity with the smaller nozzle. As you take a look in the back side of the pump, you can see right inside there, that's your little impeller. and you can see it spinning. So you probably want to be careful not to get any debris or anything like that on the inside. But again, now completely full. This should hold. And yes, because it is a one-way valve. So no problem there. That worked out just fine. Now let's just say we get to the end of the trip and I'm going to deflate this. Well, you always get a little bit of air kind of stuck in the mattress that's difficult to get out. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to yank that. But we're going to get the pump ready to deflate. Which at this point, very simple. Literally removing this nozzle here. We're going to take the large nozzle and we're going to put it on the back side. So the back side here. Just a little bit stiff. That will break in a little bit over time. And now with some of the remaining air on the inside, I'm basically going to use this to suck the air back out. A quick double press. And you can feel this is now exhausting. It's drawing the air out from the inside. Which now, this is just simply sucking some of the air out of the little nooks and crannies, help this get a little more compact. I'm just going to leave this on here for a few more seconds, and this will be ready to pack back up. And now just quick giving you a practical look at the quality of the light. So here, as we get the light turned on, again, this is the lowest mode. So a nice little bit of light. I mean, plenty of light for me to see. I can read, I can do what I need to right here. Good and soft. Single click here, that's medium. Now I'm gonna beam this sort of off in the studio, and you can see there starting to light things up nicely. My eyes are actually picking up on the light a little bit better than the camera is. Another press here, and that's the high mode. You can see more than enough light to navigate around. Now I'm just gonna put this down simply right on the desktop, and you can see it is actually beaming and sort of projecting off the ceiling, casting light and illuminating throughout. We're gonna get that mushroom dome back on here just for the example, and then pressing this down, getting it into place. And you can see again on the high mode, just a nice even glow as I put this down. It's kind of nice where the diffused light is not going to bother my eye, and I could just sit here and work on something if I had to. So a cool little feature. I definitely like that. This is how it would look if you were to hang it. So again, you hang this from the top of your tent or your shelter system or from a tree, and you can cast a nice glow in your work area or in your shelter. So very, very cool. And again, of course, all of that without me even as much as charging this up. So, I mean, you could see you'd get a lot of runtime out of this, a number of uses before you really had to charge it. So at this point, I'll get this on the charger, I'll fully charge this up, and I'll get it into my backpacking kit. So to the people at Flextail, very, very cool. Thank you so much for providing this for review. And for the rest of you, if you like this content, do me a favor, take a look at my Outer Limitless 2 channel, which is more on the tactical and firearm side of things. At this point, that channel's growing quickly. I have a ton of videos up there, so if you like what you see here on Outer Limitless, do me a favor and check me out on Outer Limitless 2. So alright guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.